As Ukrainians flee their homes, one Maine man is welcoming them here.
He grew up in Ukraine when the country was still part of the Soviet Union. He says Russian President Vladimir Putin's war is an attempt to erase the 30 years of freedom that Ukraine has worked hard to build.
The reason why I'm so emotional is to see all those horrific things that happening on the streets.
Ukrainians in America watch the atrocities.
Dead bodies, people are fighting to the last breath. Innocent children escaping, losing their parents.
As Russian soldiers tear apart their homeland.
It's just so sad, you know? And yes, I'm proud American, but my heart is still partially belong to Ukraine. This is going to be a main entrance.
Oleg Opalnyk lives in Maine, a free American and contractor.
Going to be treatment room.
It's a stark contrast to how he grew up when Ukraine was under Soviet rule.
When I went to school, I was basically different than anybody else, and I was picked on, bullied on.
His family was the only group of Protestant Christians in their town. They lived in fear of the government, that it could take Oleg away from his parents at any time.
My father was a pastor. Well, he had a regular job, but his pastoring was in secret, because if somebody knew that he was a pastor, he would be in jail.
Behind closed doors, Oleg's mother would use a typewriter to make copies of religious texts.
So she locked all the doors in the house, put the curtains down so there's complete darkness, and turned the lights inside. And she always had blisters on her fingers, you know, and calluses from constantly typing. You know, it's not like working on a computer. It's boom, boom, boom. It's hard to make sure it goes through multiple paper, you know, for that letter to be visible. You know, it was hard, but we cherish those moments. It's you can see it through. We lived under constant worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Are we going to get arrested? Are we going to get caught? And nobody had typewriters in their houses. It was completely illegal to have it because they were afraid that there would be some propaganda would spread, you know, all over the Soviet Union. If you were caught with this book, you'll be in prison for a long time, sent in exile somewhere in Siberia, and your children will be taken away from you.
In 1991, the Soviet Union fell apart, marking a new era of freedom. 30 years to rebuild, free from repression. And then?
It changed overnight that somebody said, no, you cannot be free.
Now, millions of Ukrainians have left what they worked for a generation to create.
It takes a lifetime to make it something that you're going to live there basically till you die. So when they leave that, you leave your soul over there, you know, because you put so much effort into that house or that piece of land that you have, that you're lost. What next? I feel helpless every time since it started. So I wanted to go there and fight and protect innocent, you know, because it's so unfair. It breaks my heart.
The good news is Oleg has found a way to help his fellow Ukrainians. We were there as he welcomed a family of refugees looking for safety and a new beginning here in Maine.